So I've got a thrift store copy of Sammy Davis Jr. at the Coconut Grove that is moldy and kind of generally ugly. And the album itself, the albums are dirty. And I don't know if it's going to show. You've got some mold here, some fingerprints and various things, but it doesn't look damaged. But there's hair and just you name it. There's a lot of different things going on with it. But I don't know if you can see the mold here, but right there it's pretty bad. Anyway, this is how I clean my albums. When I have a really dirty record like that, I use a two-step process that I kind of figured out. You know, there were no instructions, but this is the VPI record vacuum. There were no real instructions on how to do it. So in this case, I got distilled water and some all natural dish detergent. You know, very little bit in there. And then I use the Disc Doctor record cleaner. Everyone's got their favorite. And I use two separate wands with this. I use one for the really dirty cleaning to get the mold and the nastiness off. And then I use the other one with the Disc Doctor's fluid for the next cleaning. And I rinse after the final cleaning with distilled water and vacuum it up. You'll see what I do as I go through it. And it works. It works pretty well. I'm a little particular about how I do it, so this may be funny. This is basically the process. You start with one side here, and I'm going to start with the distilled water and detergent with one of the two wands that I have. This is I always use the same one for the really ugly cleaning. You got to give it a good scrub to get all of the fingerprints and mold and whatnot off of it. So, you know, get down on it a little bit. I mean, it's not going to be playable if I don't get it clean, so that's it. Get it good. And then I rinse the brush. So most of the ugly stuff is off of that. And then I go to the Disc Doctor fluid with a new wand. We don't want to use all the dirty stuff on the second cleaning. So, and basically this doesn't have to do as much. It just has to really kind of get down in the grooves and get off some of the fluids that they use and anything else that's on there. And then I rinse this out, rinse the brush, has that vacuum. And then the distilled water rinse. And then a very, very, very slightly moist paper towel to dry off and get the dust off of the label. Now, when I flip it, I can't put the clean side where the dirty side just was, so that's what the sponge is for. I use the sponge and give it a quick dry wipe. It's barely moist, so it's not wetting it, but it's getting the dust and dirtiness off of there before I put down the clean side on it. And one thing I'm going to do also is rinse off the initial wand because it took all of the bad dirt off of there, and I don't want to take a chance of having it damage the clean side. So, and then we repeat the process. And the last thing I need to do is take a look at the other side to see if any of the water or cleaner dripped over to the edge of this record. There's a few little droplets, so I'm going to give it like a 1 revolution vacuum just to get the excess water off of that. And then after you're done cleaning it, the last thing you need to do is just put it on a glass or something so it can air dry for a little bit, get the last of that moisture off of there. And then it's time to start looking at the album cover. And when you're going to Goodwill, of course, they put more price tags on there than you need, which is always a pain. But you got to be very slow in trying to get these off. And they will come off, but if you rush it, you're going to ruin the album. There, patience pays off. So, to clean the album cover, and I do this on all of them, I use crappy vodka. And it'll clean it real nice. It'll dry really nicely before it has a chance to soak in. I get a paper towel and fold it up a couple times. Just kind of lift it up onto the towel. Now this is going to take a couple of them because it's so nasty. But it does a good job. It just needs a little bit of work here. That's the first wipe, and it's pretty gross. And then the back side, same thing. And then I'm going to do a second with a clean one. If nothing else, you're getting it to be where you don't mind touching it. And of course the inside has to be done as well, which lots of mold in there. Now I won't get some of these stains off, but it will get a lot of the crap out of there, and it'll be a lot better off in the end. Ooh, there you go. So it wasn't mint before, and it's not mint now, but it is workable. One of the problems I'm going to have is I'm not going to put the records back into the sleeve because it's full of mold, I'm sure, in there. So only one of the sleeves that the album came with was original, a reprise sleeve. It was a capital sleeve on the other album, so I'm only going to keep the one. I don't use them, but if it came with the album, I keep it. I use air to blow out the record cover and the sleeve. And once these are in better condition, then I just keep them with the album. Each album is getting a new MoFi sleeve. Basically, I put everything in the outer sleeve, including the cover and these. These will go on the outside of the album, but in the sleeve. That's it. So that's the process I use. I enjoy the process actually, because you're taking an album that was dead and you're saving it. And that is it. Enjoy.